It was said that when the fourth moon rose, an inky void against the starry sky, it was the eye of the trickster god Vale, beloved by thieves, assassins, and those who chose to walk the path of shadow. The appearance of the fourth moon was believed to lend his favor to all illicit activities of the night. After watching the thief in front of her step loudly into an empty bucket, causing a clattering cascade of falling brooms and empty ale casks behind the inn, Faye felt that Vale may have taken the night off. With a subdued sigh, Faye grabbed the thief roughly by the hood, dragging him into the shadows of a nearby alley. Pushing her back against the cool stone wall, she gestured for him to do the same, before closing her eyes to listen intently for signs of alarm. Several tense moments passed, but the only sounds that carried over the gentle breeze were those of wooden shutters closing and the calm, measured pace of the city guard patrolling several streets over. Faye turned to the man beside her with narrowed eyes, her delicate brows arched in reprimand beneath her dark woolen hood. He had the decency to look chagrined, his handsome features almost plaintive in the dim light from the opposite building. "I'm sorry," he began before Faye slapped a hand over his mouth, the stubble of his short-trimmed beard scratching lightly against the leather of her glove. She shook her head, her cloak rustling as she gestured upward to the building behind them. Faye was sure they'd have an easier time moving unseen if they took to the rooftops. He quickly took her meaning, nodding his head in agreement as she dropped her hand from his face. She beckoned to him before leaning forward against the building with her hands braced firmly against the wall, her legs spread for balance. Most thieves would be able to scale a building like this easily, but Faye knew that he was not among them. Shooting her an apologetic look, he carefully pulled himself up, stepping on her lower back awkwardly for extra leverage, before scrambling noisily onto the rooftop above them. Dusting off her cloak briefly with a slight huff, Faye gracefully scaled the side of the building and landed on the roof beside him. "Faye," he began again in a low whisper, before she cut him off with a sharp gesture. "Kestrel, I know this is new to you, but you need to focus. Follow me and try to avoid any loose tiles," she whispered with a stern look before advancing swiftly across the rooftop, her footfalls light in her fitted calfskin boots. He sighed, pulling his hood back up over his carefully coiffed golden hair before following her at a more cautious pace. To Faye's relief, their flight across the rooftops was quicker and considerably quieter than their halting spurts between the alleys. Kestrel had needed some help navigating longer jumps on occasion, but had otherwise managed to follow with an almost impressive level of determination. Reaching the noble district, Faye scoffed internally as they began to pass large, arched windows and increasingly ostentatious sculptures, gargoyles, and ornamental stonework. She'd been here many times before, but her disgust for the sheer wealth on display never faded. Too often, she'd wondered how many hungry mouths in the slums could be fed by selling just one of these unnecessary decorations. Shaking herself from her reverie as they reached the building with obnoxious golden bugles and cornices that signaled their intended mark, Faye turned to Kestrel, where he stood nervously behind her. "Stay here and keep watch," she signaled silently, gesturing to the dim-lit, orderly street below them. Patrols were more frequent here, and Faye couldn't take the chance they'd be caught unaware. For a moment, it looked as though he might argue, but seeing her expression, his brow smoothed, and he shrugged, turning to crouch carefully at the corner that would grant him the largest field of view. Faye dropped to her knees at the edge of the roof, the rough tiles biting into her dark doeskin breeches as she leaned over to get a better view of the balcony directly below them. Thanks to her elven heritage, she could see well enough even in the dark, allowing her to easily make out the elaborate but empty polished terrace in front of a set of enormous glass doors.